You are listening to a Nerd Room podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Be sure to check out more from the Star Wars Commonwealth on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. Hey everyone, and welcome to Nerd Room. We talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. This episode number 137, we'll be discussing Joker set photos, Russos teasing Avengers 4, and Bob Iger on Star Wars and Marvel. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Sunjay.
Oh man, it's so great to be back. I think I sound the exact same from last week, but I had this huge sense of pride when we jump onto the mics. I was really looking forward to it this week because we got so much to get through. Like it's all of a sudden this Joker movie is a real thing. I said last week I didn't really believe in it, and now we've got our first look at a make-upped Joaquin Phoenix. Unbelievable. And the Russos are out there trolling fans, and we've got CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, giving us a little insight into some of the mistakes, or at least his omission of mistakes, for Star Wars. So it's going to be an exciting discussion this week, guys.
Yeah, let's do it up. A lot of topics. Everything from Marvel, DC, Star Wars, everything's clicking right now. It's a good time. There's no lulls. Everyone's putting stuff out. Every couple months we're going to get something now. So it's fun times.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You speak of lulls. We just went through a huge one. We had 3 weeks of nothing. And now I can barely fit everything into the outline for this week so that we stay under our normal time. Because there's a ton to get through. But we're going to get to all of that in just a second, including our Week in Nerd. But my man Sunjay, you have a big life announcement.
That's right. Yeah, I'm taking on a second wife. No, I'm just kidding. Surprise! No,
Good thing she doesn't listen.
Yeah. She's going to hit me and I'll be like, what was that for? She'll be like, I listened to your one episode.
Yeah. Just so happened to be 137.
Does your other wife listen?
Oh, yeah, she does. That's why I'm marrying her. No. Me and my wife are welcoming a new Wonder Woman into the world. She's due with our second daughter coming up at the end of January.
Oh, I didn't know you knew
you
this.
guys know what it is?
Yeah, so we just found out. Yeah, we're having another girl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Make some noise for Sunny.
Yeah,
Oh, man, that's awesome news.
I'm going to dress one as Wonder Woman, one as Captain Marvel, and then every Halloween they're just going to fight.
Just trolling everybody. No, that's awesome news. Awesome news, man.
That's
thank you.
news.
Yeah, thank you.
2 girls, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
There
Yeah.
you go,
So,
there you go.
I got to keep that man cave fresh,
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm joining you, man. I'm going to join you too on this. So I got another announcement too. I got another baby on the way.
What?
Yes, sir.
Troy the
It's
boy?
going down, man.
No
It's going
way.
down. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Give me a handshake right here on air.
Troy the boy just dropping that bomb.
Yeah, well.
This is fresh. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Did you know?
I knew. Just for a little bit, though.
Okay. So I see how it is.
We wanted to get your live reaction here.
Okay, so the next week when I have my third now, I'm just gonna tell Tim and just cut you
No,
off.
that's fair enough.
No, congratulations.
Hey, thanks, man.
When is she due?
March or February, late February, early March. So we'll see.
Nice.
So you're due
End of January.
End of January.
So we'll have to do some babysitting so we can catch all the movies.
Daddy daycare, man. We're gonna set one up.
I mean,
it's going down.
I
Yeah.
feel so left out.
We got a perfect babysitter right here.
Well, I can't do that because my wife's also pregnant.
Really? No way. What? What's going on here?
100% truth.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I think there's a special chair that you sat on that day when you told us. And then I sat in that chair, and then Tim sat in that chair.
So are all 3 mine now, or is this how it works?
Yeah, so we're all having babies.
What?
Yeah.
In
Congratulations,
2018.
man! Oh my goodness! Okay, so if you're trying to get pregnant, just come on this podcast.
Apparently, there's something in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm drinking some water right now, and I don't know if that's what's in the water. I'm gonna get a new glass because
It's not in the water. That's not how it works.
I didn't take biology. How do I know? Awesome. Well, when is your wife due?
End of March.
Into March. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So
So,
I'll
January, February, March.
Yeah.
Nice.
We are going to have a real issue scheduling
yeah.
in the early part of 2019, I think.
Yeah. We might have to call you guys in from the delivery room.
Yeah.
Just,
So we're gonna be looking at you guys in the Star Wars Commonwealth to maybe help us out here, because I have a feeling it's all our second, so hopefully it's a little bit less of a rocky road
Yeah.
than the first one was.
yeah.
So it's exciting times.
Going down,
Yeah,
man.
it is awesome. So I'll be able to pass along that 1 month knowledge
Yes.
of having 2 kids, and then you
Yes.
can pass that along to Tim.
Yeah.
It's like a chain reaction.
Yeah, it's funny because we're going kind of almost in the reverse order. Of,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, not quite, because Troy had his first, but sort of. You had yours last, but you're having yours first. So,
Yeah.
anyways, doesn't matter. Very exciting
Well,
times.
I'm
in the
blown
nerd room.
away right now.
Crazy,
like,
right? Your reaction, man, was awesome.
oh
That's
my
so
goodness!
cool.
Like
Yeah.
I
Kinda
thought you
half
guys were
planned
like
this.
trolling me. It's like, what's going on here? And then Tim comes on. So I have a feel. Like, is your wife gonna pop out of the closet and be like, "Surprise! I'm actually due next week."
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, it's twins.
That was one thing I made sure of. The first ultrasound, I was like, "There's only one in there, right?
Yeah.
There's only one." So my wife and daughter have been watching this quintuplet show,
Oh right.
and I keep thinking, "Oh my god, I would go crazy."
Do you guys have twins in your family?
No, no, no.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Son-
yeah.
son-
No,
oh,
no, no.
okay.
No, so there's definitely only one.
Yeah,
There's only
there you
one,
go.
unless
Yeah.
it's really tiny and hiding. Maybe, I don't know.
You never know. What was that?
It's a good question. Something fell.
This is weird, man. Like this is like, what's going on here?
All right, guys. Well, putting all that
Hold on,
excitement-
I'm so excited. I gotta go pee right now. Like seriously, I'll be right back.
Okay, well, we're gonna continue this as you do that.
That's awesome. Wow.
Well, getting on with things. Sunjay will catch up here in just 2 minutes, but we got to get on with our weekend nerd. Putting aside all of the excitement from the nerd room here,
Yes.
the growing nerd room as it is, with 3 new babies on the way to I'll put on top of the 3 that are already there. So we have 3 new additions to fandom, both Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. This is very exciting times. I can't wait to expose our new children to that, because I think we've done fairly well with our current
yeah.
children.
Oh, yeah.
Because my daughter absolutely loves Star Wars now. It's crazy. We got
Clone Wars. She's on Clone Wars.
Clone
she's on-
Wars,
yep.
and we've got Star Wars Resistance coming
That's
up
right,
here in
yeah.
the next couple of weeks. I think October 14th it drops.
And Forces of Destiny, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
she's really enjoying that. I've got her some comic books as well,
Nice.
so it's all going really well, and I can't wait to expose this next crop of kids to fandom. It's
Yeah.
going to be very, very exciting. I hope that the new ones understand the same way that the current ones do about not touching.
Don't touch.
Don't open, don't
Yes.
touch.
Yeah.
Sanjay has now re-entered the nerd room here. He's coming down off of that bit of a high.
Sunjay left the building. Now back.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I just had to take like some Tums or what's that called for like
Pepto.
aspirin.
Pep-
Yeah, like I don't know. I was thinking of having a heart attack. Like, what's going on here?
Don't drop dead, please. Anyways, man, now that you're back in the room,
Yes.
we're going to jump into our weekend nerd before we get into any of the news for this week. Now, trying to calm down a little bit. How was your weekend nerd? I know you just rolled up with a couple new steelbooks.
That's right. Yeah, picked up the Solo Steelbook. Yeah, I got it. It's looking fresh. Yeah, it looks really good. I was a little bit, I thought they were gonna go with just the Solo face on the front, but they went with the Millennium Falcon with the gold and like yellow background. I think it looks fresh. And I posted that picture on Twitter with the other Disney Star Wars Steelbooks.
Love it.
Man, I love having like the completed collection of all 10 Star Wars Steelbooks.
That's fresh for the Disney era too, right?
Right?
Dope.
Yeah. And then I have like the prequels and the OG trilogy, so I got to post a picture of that. But I just think like I love the completeness. Like I'm a completist and I love that. So if I was missing one, it would like bug me. Even though like if I never even watched the movie, I'm like I still gotta get it.
Yeah.
But my weekend nerd, besides that, like besides the Steelbook, reading a ton of Batman. Like me and you were talking about Batman 50.
Oh,
So, Batman, and, spoilers ahead, if you haven't read Batman 50, jump ahead a bit, but Batman and Catwoman were supposed to get married, and it just didn't go through.
Yeah, there's a lot of backlash from that, eh?
I don't understand. Like, okay, Batman, he does, that would have been such a massive change, and they didn't really, like, promote it. Like, when Superman married Lois Lane, like, that was, like, a huge promotion.
I think the backlash came from a lot of comic shops and all that had ordered a ton of comics.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they planned these events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around the weddings, like wedding cakes and all this decoration, all this, and then it leaked online, I think, or they spoiled it somehow
Right.
a couple days before, so no one showed up
Yeah,
to get the
that's-
comics. So I
that's pretty
think they were
brutal.
actually buying them back, DC, from comic book shops.
DC's pretty good like that. Though.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there was like this huge inventory. A usual order for a Batman book is what, say, for a small shop, maybe 15 books or something like that. I don't know what Chris buys at Alpha Comics there, but these guys were in double, triple what they
Yeah.
usually would get, because that expectation for big major
Right.
events that people walk in, grab them that aren't usual comic book readers, someone that's collecting or something to that effect.
Right.
That didn't happen because of what happened. So it wasn't so much, I don't think, the actual content as it was how it was executed and how there's this huge buildup to the wedding, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's whatever. Like, I guess the content's still good.
Yeah.
And then you had this what's this new one that came out that you had posted, the new Batman.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Damn.
Batman. More like Batman Damn.
I heard that his junk is in there.
You can, it's a special like edition now.
Junk edition?
It's the junk. It's the penis edition. Can we say penis without being censored?
Yes, we can.
Absolutely.
It's anatomically correct.
Let's just throw it out there. So Batman Damned is like the new DC Black label, so it's for like mature readers. It's in this special like bigger book with like shiny paper. It looks really nice. Like the art is fantastic. The story's really cool as well. But the only thing people are talking about is Batman's bat penis.
Is this like the same thing as Mr. or Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen movie?
Yeah, it's not as noticeable. It's a little bit shaded, but you can definitely see outline and actual penis. So DC has already came out and saying that they're gonna censor this going forward. So this is like the only chance you may get to see
they know what
Batman's
they're doing,
penis.
though. They know what they're doing, for
this
sure.
is gonna make a hot seller out of
Yeah.
it.
Well, and that's again coming back to the sales.
Yeah.
People were coming in to buy this specifically because of bat junk.
I mean, it's the hottest issue of Playgirl. Like maybe Batman should pose nude for Playgirl if that's.
I don't even
thing.
think they have nudes in those magazines anymore. I don't think Playboy has naked people in it anymore.
Well, then why did they invite us to do a spread on Playgirl, the nerd room, the best of the podcasting
Because
world?
no one reads magazines or that book anymore. It's all free on the internet.
You mean what? So like we could do this for get paid for this, or like people are just giving it away for free?
What do you mean, porn or podcasting?
Both. This is like the world's first porn podcast.
Both are very free on the internet.
We were just talking about.
We're down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah, but pulling us back out of that rabbit hole. Are you guys going to be checking out some bat penis?
No.
No, I'm gonna pass on the junk for sure.
It honestly separate off the penis. It's a great story.
Is it a good story?
Joker's dead and Batman wakes up. He doesn't know what the hell happened. He has like a concussion or he's not sure. So he has to go to John Constantine and be like what kind of happened, and it's like dealing with the afterlife. And Joker may still like now he may be like a ghost or something that's controlling things from the afterlife. Really creepy. Like the art is fantastic. The artist I can't remember his name, like Lee Berjo or something.
Yeah, you said it to me. The other day.
Yeah, fantastic artist. And it's prestige format, $8, but there's only 3 issues. I'm excited. This DC Black line is pretty sweet, so check it out.
Nice. Maybe I will borrow it off you one day.
Yeah, well, if it comes back and the pages are... No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's gonna be like Dunkirk. You're never gonna see it again.
Oh, yeah, where is that Dunkirk?
I have no idea. Don't worry about it.
You have until your wife gives birth to watch it. Otherwise, I'm charging you a $2.99 late fee.
That's fair. Troy, my man, how was your weekend?
Yeah, it's been good, man. I'm satisfied. I'm 100% on Spider-Man. I've officially beat the game.
Nice, I saw that. Congrats.
Yeah, it's all done, man. So I gotta wait till October for some more DLC. Game was dope though. Like the story was incredible. I just can't say anything bad about that game. They actually were talking about it as if they wanted to treat the game as the first Iron Man movie. They wanted this game to be like the first like special Marvel game to branch off into a bigger universe.
Oh, sweet.
Awesome.
So I'm totally on board with that. That's pretty cool. I picked up 2 Marvel Legends. I got Bishop from the 90s.
Nice.
I saw
Nice.
that.
Yeah, I had no idea that wave was even out, and I found Omega Red, which
Yeah.
is cool.
Nice,
Like those guys
nice.
are the classics. So
Yeah.
got my hands on that, and I picked up the Thrawn Alliance like physical book.
Yeah,
decided to
nice.
actually get it because that cover.
Did you find it on
just
discount?
awesome. It was discounted. It was I think I paid $26. It's originally like $38.
Oh wow, where'd
Yeah.
you get that?
Chapters.
Chapters. Okay, I might
yeah.
have to meant to seek that out.
Yeah, and I'm still continuing with the book. I'm not that fond of this book, but I'm kind of getting close to the end, and there's a couple cool things going on there. So it's not too bad all around. Though I think I'm done with Thrawn after this.
We've gotten a bit of an overlap. Same with Maul.
Yeah,
A little bit. It's like we've gotten the comic books, film or cartoon editions of them. A lot of context around those characters. I agree. Like I love Thrawn,
right?
But I'm a little overwhelmed at this moment with both of those characters.
Definitely.
You mentioned something about picking up Bishop.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go as Bishop for Halloween. I mean, you just gotta get the wig, and you're there.
That mullet.
Yeah, get the 90s Jerry curl mullet. Just a bunch of pouches and guns.
It's easy, right?
Yeah, that's the perfect costume.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one. You know, I think Killmonger would be pretty cool, but yeah, Killmonger would be dope. But I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, you got the Michael B. Jordan
Yeah,
look,
get that
too.
Michael B. Jordan.
I mean,
look,
I'm
yeah.
just saying, if you go as Bishop, you may be having a third kid. Like, you just no one can stay away from the Jerry curl.
Come on. On that very note, I've had a very quiet week at Nerd. Sunjay is in fine form tonight. But my whole week has been focused around Marvel Unlimited. I said last week I had bought it right before the podcast or whenever, kind of the day before. And in 7 days, I was able to consume just over 50. I got about 15 and a half comic books. I was about halfway through them. before
Holy
we started.
smokes!
And yeah, it is unbelievable. I love this app, this feature. It turned out to be about $90 Canadian by the time you got all the conversion and
not
tax
bad.
and all this.
Yeah.
And it's a year subscription to almost, I would say it's got to be 80+% of Marvel's back catalog.
Wow.
And I jumped right back into the Ed Brubaker Cap series from 2004. If you guys have not read that, it's unbelievable. It is exactly the inspiration that the Russos used for Captain America Winter Soldier. It is the Winter Soldier arc. That's where it all gets introduced.
Oh, okay.
But just the aesthetic of it,
Right.
the feel, the vibe you get from it with Cap working with S.H.I.E.L.D., it is so good. And then I also jumped in and started reading the Captain Marvel from 2012. So that's when she initially got the moniker, the name Captain Marvel is kind of given to her, forced upon her almost by Captain America, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I did notice one thing in there. I was talking to Troy about this, and I don't know if I'm being overly sensitive or not, but there's a lot of gratuitous ass shots of Captain Marvel in that first issue. I don't
Really?
know. And I was looking at Steve Rogers too to see if like it was equal, but
Yeah.
it just seemed that they always drew Rogers from the waist up, and her ass is like full feature in numerous panels. And I was thinking like, I don't usually notice stuff like that, but this may be a little much for me, a little much. Like I don't know what it was, and
Okay.
but it's a good comic book nonetheless.
That app, is it the same as the other Marvel app that you use with completely
No, it's
different?
a completely different. So it's a Marvel Unlimited app.
Right.
It doesn't go with the Marvel digital app.
Oh, okay.
Or I don't know if it's buried in there, but I have the separate app. And what's cool about it, what I've been really liking, is that you can download, I think, 6 books offline. So you can
Right.
just download them onto your device.
Nice.
And so when I ride the bus in the morning, that's when I'll read a book. So I've made kind of this goal is that I'll listen to podcasts and audiobooks when I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
And I'll read books or comic books when I'm on the bus.
Sick.
Nice.
And so I've been able to get through quite a bit, and I've been reading them at night. And
Yeah.
so my goal is, and this kind of goes in a little bit of Grab's question that we're going to get to a little later on, is I want to get through all of the Bendis Avengers era run, because I haven't done all that. All this Brubaker stuff again. I'm going to go back and do Hickman's Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
I'm going to
man.
do
Yeah.
a lot of reading, even going into Daredevil Season 3. So going back and trying to read that. So now that I have this massive back catalog that's digital, I don't have to worry about taking my comic books out. I'm super excited. So if you're looking to jump into comics, this is actually a really great way. I would never try to push anyone away from the brick and mortar shops. Like I'm going to still go there. I'm going to get my current issues and all that. But this is a great option for going back, at
Catching
least
up.
for the price point.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to have all these trades. I don't have space for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
It's awesome. So yeah, Marvel Unlimited, fantastic choice. And thank you everyone who had input, and thank you Grabs for actually pushing me, or at least giving me the idea that this was something that was a plausible idea.
That's
This
wicked,
is why
man.
we knighted you, Grabs.
Yeah, exactly. Just forced me to spend $90, but I'm extremely happy with it.
He's probably like a salesman for Marvel Unlimited. It's like, I just happened to get it.
If
It's
he's
wonderful.
a salesman for Marvel Unlimited and has not told us that yet, I'm going to be quite upset.
Sir Grabs.
Anyways, guys,
We need to have like a salute, like, you know, like in the old SNL with like Chris Farley, he'd be like, duh, bears.
yeah,
We need to have like beers and be like, duh, Grabs.
love it.
I like that one. Yeah.
Right? All right, okay. So then next time instead of the theme song, I'll just be like, duh, Grabs.
Not every time. All right, guys. It is time for us to jump into some of the news this week because we've got a ton to get through. And we're going to kick it off here with the Joker, the
Yes.
Todd Phillips film. Usually something like this we'd save to the end of the podcast, but when we're putting together the outline, I said, this has got to be the first thing we talk about because all of a sudden we have a full-fledged Joker film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last week we talked about Arthur Fleck, the images of Joaquin Phoenix, and what we wanted from the film itself. And then all of a sudden this week, we're not only hit with a Todd Phillips official teaser type trailer, not quite trailer, but teaser image showing the transformation of Joaquin Phoenix's Arthur Fleck that we talked about last week into the Joker. And then not a day or two later, we get all this set videos with Joker in full makeup from Gotham City, some train chaos, and there's a few other posts that have been released. But it's been a wild week. It's almost like Todd Phillips has an open set. Because these aren't grainy videos shot from an apartment building. Like, these are someone that's standing there as they're filming it.
Yeah, like, someone asked him about that, and he's like, a lot of people will try to, like, the paparazzi will snap, like, shitty pictures, and then it gets leaked online, and then there's bad press from the start about the film. Like, look at Shazam with his costume.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know what, I might as well put it out there, get, like, the best quality photos, so that way people aren't, like, clamoring to see it. They'll see it, and then
move on.
Yeah, and they'll see the best quality of the shot.
Interesting. That's a nice take on it, because that's the thing we've talked about in the past, with different films and leaks and all that, is that you don't want that out there right away. And that's the same thing with trailers. You don't want something poor, like poor CGI, like the Venom. We praised that original trailer because they were very coy about showing Venom the full CGI, and then they went and did all the other stuff. So anyways, ancient history. But what do you guys think of this? Let's talk about this video first, going from the Arthur Fleck with the train running by, and then his face, and then we see him actually smile, and then he goes dark. So what are you guys thinking about the teaser and then the makeup itself from that original video?
Yeah, so shout out to I think Stubaka.
Yeah,
he
hit us up.
Man, I was sitting there watching this thing, and I was like, okay, I see what they're doing, and that subtlety that Joaquin Phoenix has in his face, he's kind of smirking, and it builds up to that full smile, and then it ends with his smile like dropping.
Yes.
What he's doing with his face, he's acting with his face. That's it. That's all we got, and it's fantastic. It's like, this is the Joker that I wanted all along. This is kind of on the heels of Heath Ledger.
It is.
This is
very
totally,
similar.
Clean the slate from your boy Jared Leto's Joker. But the music worked for me. Those little train shots of what we're seeing with the Joker, and then you see him walking with this cool kind of swagger. Like, everything just worked on me on so many levels. The hair, I like the makeup that's more clowny than ever. Normally, Joker's just like a white face, and then he has the smile.
Yeah.
But here we're actually getting like the teardrops or whatever it is on the eyes. Man, I love this. I love this so much. I'll even go there and say it right now that I feel like if you ask me what did it more for me, Captain Marvel or the Joker, I'm gonna go with the Joker right now. Yeah, like I put this up there. It came out of nowhere. And I'm just blown away. I'm not even talking about Superman anymore. I don't even care. I'm totally invested in this standalone universe.
I'm right there with you. Like, the Joker, like, this thing, as you said, blew me away. You have, like, the song choice was perfect.
Yeah,
it's like the Guess Who or something. It's like, because I'm laughing, and then like that moment he just like, he just snaps, and that's like the Joker to me. Is like the animated series. He's like your best pal, your buddy, your clown, and then you do one thing wrong and he kills you. And that's what makes him so dangerous, because he's like that friend or that pal, and he's so funny and so nice, and then the one thing just snaps, and then you can't stop him. He's just like turns into this maniac, and that's what's so freaky to me.
Yeah.
And the set videos look cool, and I'm getting a real Batman '89 vibe from this. Like, this could have been set, like, in the Tim Burton universe. Like,
it's set in the 80s.
It's set in the 80s, and I'm getting that vibe. And another film that this is kind of similar, or giving me that same vibe, is the first Ninja Turtle film. That's, like, kind of that early 90s, late 80s aesthetic, where it's kind of, like, dark. You're in, like, the city streets. Most of it's shot at night. And I assume this will kind of be the same thing. And I'm super excited for this film. 2019, there's so many big films coming out. We got Avengers 4, we got Star Wars Episode 9, Wonder Woman 84, Captain Marvel, and Joker has stood, apart from all those. It's not part of a connected universe. It's just a one-time standalone film. This is going to have nothing to do with the DC extended universe. And I'm super excited for this. And the crazy part is, this only cost like $55 million to make.
Well, that budget is awesome what they're doing. And I think if this does pretty well, I think DC's going to be doing a lot more of these movies and maybe stepping away a little bit from the DCEU. If it's that much more profitable, it makes sense.
You look at the budget. The reason this has a small budget, there's no CGI in this.
No.
Or minimal CGI. It's going to be about building an aesthetic of Gotham or something to that effect, right? So it's going to be your skylines. It's going to be your settings, maybe some lighting or whatever. There's nothing to this.
Oh, yeah.
Like the basis of it. It's all about the acting, the script, and the character development. That's what we spoke of last week. We need to see a man teetering on the edge and then watch him walk right over it.
Yeah.
And you get that in that face.
Well, and this is it.
Yeah.
I was admittedly the skeptic at first. I said, I don't know how I feel about this. I was taken a little back by the makeup at first.
Right.
And the one thing that threw me was the smile.
Right.
I kept going back to that because that again threw me. I was like, ooh, that's too much teeth. That's too much smiling.
Right.
But you guys are right. It's at the end of the video, and there's a couple set photos here when his eyes go down and his face drops.
Yes.
It goes from, like you're saying, Sunjay, it goes from that guy that's like, yeah, I love you, and then all of a sudden,
Right.
and boom, he's a
yeah.
different person. So this speaks a bit to that bipolarism
yeah.
that I'm hoping they go, where he's at one moment he's Arthur Fleck and the next he's the Joker, this criminal mastermind that will stop at nothing to execute whatever plan he's doing. And you can see from these other set photos, the train, that it looks like just chaos. We've got, the classic henchman with the Joker masks on.
Yeah.
We see him walking away here, pulling up the mask in similar fashion to Heath Ledger's Joker.
Absolutely.
That first reveal.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of Ledger here.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
me
lot
too.
of it. And I'm hoping that he can channel that, but also put his own spin in. I'm confident, like you're saying, Troy, that he can do that, he can act his way through that. That's where Ledger was successful. It was the laugh, it was the execution, and it was how he expressed himself, how he talked.
Yeah.
Like, all this time, I cannot see Heath Ledger through the Joker.
No.
I cannot see him.
No.
It's impossible.
And I don't know Heath Ledger from a lot of, like, there's The Knight's Tale or whatever.
Yeah.
But I literally can't place the guy. Like, I can't put his face to the Joker. I only see the Joker. When I'm looking at this, Joaquin Phoenix, I cannot see Joaquin Phoenix here.
Yeah.
I literally cannot see him. Like, in Arthur Fleck, yes. As soon as this makeup's on, completely different character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you brought up Heath Ledger. Like, that was a similar performance where, what was the scene? Like, he has the one guy who's dressed as Batman, and, like, he's like, oh, you're crazy. And then he was kind of, like, having fun joking with it, and then when he said he's crazy, he, like, snapped, and he's like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
that one. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, that one.
And, the writing, like, Todd Phillips has done movies like The Hangover. I can't think of anything else that he's done, but he's done, like, some big hits.
I think he did Old School.
Yeah, he did
He
Old
did do
School.
Old
Yeah,
School.
and Old
Frank the
School was
Tank.
amazing. So,
But this is not his genre.
no, but, like, this
Which
movie
is
has so
cool.
much
Yeah.
momentum behind it. Like, there's no way. Okay, I always make these, like, statements, and they always backfire. But there's no way that this film doesn't make back its budget opening weekend.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I don't even think at this point it's about the money. It's about DC putting out a quality film.
Yeah.
This has major potential. Todd Phillips is approaching this in a different manner than we've seen in the past. It's not only the budget, it's not only potentially the creative development of it, but it's how he is showing this to the public.
Yeah.
It's not about we're seeing this with Avengers. We see this with every major film, is that, we got the first look at Captain America's new scaled suit.
Right.
Not in full form. We've seen the Hulk in that weird suit, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen all these, but not the way that they're probably intended to be seen. We're seeing this the way and in the light he wants. He's focusing on what we need to look at and listen to us. We went from talking about this thing like it's a myth or like it's never going to happen to being overly excited about this film and comparing it to what most of us would consider the definitive vision or definitive version of the Joker and Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild what 1 week can do for a film.
And it's crazy because, you look all over the chatter, no one's talking about Batman. Nobody even cares.
Or Superman or nothing.
Superman. Because before, everybody's like, well, how are you going to do a Joker movie without Batman? Now people don't even care. They just want that Joker.
Yeah, and this opens the door. Say this is a hit. You mentioned like other films. What other, we'll do like one DC, one Marvel. What other villain do you think could get their own like standalone film like this? That would be kind of its own little niche-y thing, or like its own separate thing from the rest of the connected universes. Like, whose villain origin stories would you like to see brought on the screen?
I guess the issue I have with that, just thinking out loud here, is that I don't know if there's anyone that can carry something the same way the Joker could. Like, the first person that popped in my mind when he said it was a Riddler. But the Riddler needs an antagonist.
Yeah.
Or a protagonist, if you want to call it that. Depends on the perspective. But he needs someone to banter off of. The Penguin, all of those, even Mr. Freeze, they need someone that they're battling against, butting heads against. The Joker doesn't necessarily do this. Like, you look at, when we're going to talk about in a second, this Thomas Wayne stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this could be simple, a battle for Gotham in the absence of Batman.
Right.
And the Wayne name is floating around there. But I just don't see how you would develop another villain, like in the same sense that you're doing here, without some form of protagonist or antagonist again.
Well, I think if you step away from Batman and do Superman, you could do Lex Luthor.
That would be
You
cool.
could have him and bring back the dude from
Michael
Smallville.
Rosenbaum.
Bring him back and
So
just have him
good.
obsess over this alien.
Yeah.
And feel he is more superior than this alien is, and he doesn't trust this alien.
Yeah.
So you're kind of backing this guy. I think you could do something kind of cool with Lex.
Something
to make
like-
him likable.
Something like Wall Street, where you said in the
yes.
80s, like Michael Douglas. I don't know, like that would be something that I'd like to see.
Yeah.
What about you, man? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, okay, so they're doing one, hopefully, Black Adam with The Rock, which is pretty much similar to Scorpion King.
Yeah.
And I also think Sinestro. Sinestro, Green Lantern's greatest foe. He was the greatest Green Lantern of them all.
Right.
And then his home world got destroyed, and he turned into the Yellow Lantern, who ran instead of willpower on fear. And I think that would be super cool to see him kind of being like the good cop, and then at the end, when everything goes bad, him just snap and become the
You
Yellow
need a
Lantern.
huge budget for that.
Yeah, that's true. Like you couldn't do anything under 200 mil for that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We look
yeah,
for-
that would be huge.
Yeah.
They kind of did it in the Dark Knight. Harvey Dent. That's kind of cool to see
Oh,
his turn.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Really
Yeah.
well done.
And that was something that they kept under wraps. Like
Yeah.
watching the film, I had no idea he was getting turned into Two-Face.
No, and that again, that was the walking of a man towards insanity, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like he just broke. I love how that was
Oh, it's
executed.
great. He's
Oh,
the
yeah.
White Knight, basically.
You always
right?
forget
Yeah.
about him in that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
He's
I totally
fantastic.
forgot about Two-Face.
Yeah.
Two-Face
his
is one of my
turn.
favorite
His
villains.
turn. He's great.
Oh yeah, man, I love that.
Yeah. Now Thomas Wayne. Now there's a poster that was put out online, and a few other things that you saw too, Sunjay, with a Thomas Wayne for mayor.
Yeah.
Now, traditionally in the Batman universe, at least at this point with the Joker's age and Thomas Wayne, he's dead.
yeah.
The mother,
Yeah.
I think, is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Martha's dead. So
Why did you say that?
Oh, Martha is dead in this film?
I think.
Oh, is she?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh,
I may
okay.
have just heard that. I might be wrong. But there's this poster saying Thomas Wayne for mayor, moving Gotham forward. So at some point, so this is a skewed timeline here.
Yeah.
And how do you guys feel about Thomas Wayne potentially being Joker's antagonist, at least from that perspective? Him maybe the battling for Gotham in a sense, and he's doing it this way, and the Joker's doing this way. Maybe the Joker is a pseudo protagonist. Maybe like
Yeah.
he's seeing the corrupt ways of Thomas Wayne,
Right.
and he's trying to bring that down in a similar fashion to what we see in the Dark Knight. Right, is
Yeah.
burning it all down.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We need some sort of anarchy slid into this. Like, what are your thoughts on Thomas Wayne being included this, and kind of veering a bit away from the more traditional Batman story, or Batman at least background?
It kind of makes sense in
Yeah.
a way. I mean, what
Yeah.
Thomas Wayne, well, he's a doctor, right? Originally in the comics.
Right,
Dr.
yeah.
Wayne. And he's beloved by the city. He did so much for the city. So I guess it'd only be a matter of time before he became mayor
Yeah,
or ran
makes
for
sense,
mayor.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I eat it up. I just wonder if we're going to have a young Bruce. Like, is Bruce Wayne going to be around? Did Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
die instead? Like, how's that all going to work?
Yeah, that's true. Like it all depends on Bruce. Maybe Bruce isn't even born yet,
Right.
and something happens, and then he becomes born. Well, I guess I know what happens.
Or Alfred. Because Alfred's
Yeah.
family has a lot of lineage with the Waynes, right?
Yeah,
They've
that's true,
always
yeah.
worked for the Waynes.
Or
so I
even
wonder-
Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Is he going to be in this? Because that would be cool to see him like working.
I'd not even thought about any of those characters, but those are huge characters that
Yeah.
have connection to not only Gotham but the Wayne family. You're
Exactly.
Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
Who's he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So there's a lot you could do there in the absence of Batman. Like,
Yeah.
I think it seems appropriate to me.
Yeah, I like it.
You're building up the mythos there, but you're doing something a little different. It's taking the eyes off of Batman and putting them directly on the Joker, but also keeping up with what's traditionally surrounded the Joker in that universe.
Yeah,
I
and here's your chance to do it, because I know reading comics, we all get those graphic novels, like you
Yeah.
even mentioned, Batman Damned, where we
Yeah.
step out of the universe and
Yeah.
give us something completely
Killing
different.
Joke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
killing joke,
absolutely.
and this is the time to now do it. So if DC can make this their own and really run with it, I'm all up for it.
Yeah, I mean, let's have parallel universes going, because DC has all their characters, and Marvel has had 3 universes going at one point with Spider-Man, X-Men, and the MCU.
Yeah.
So I don't see why DC can't do 2. And let's just keep this going and say it's a big hit. Maybe you could do someone like a Penguin film or something, continue off this universe. And
Do they
keep
need
it
to
going.
brand it, do you think? Do they need to brand it Elsewhere Stories or something like that?
I heard they were gonna call this DC Black Label, something like the graphic novels,
Yeah.
and just have it separate. And I haven't heard a second film being announced or even talked about. But I'm sure if this is a hit, why not?
I feel like they have to call those expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Just say right up front, guys, this isn't part of this over here.
Yeah.
We're still
Yeah.
doing this over here. This is something completely different. So do not worry about continuity.
Yeah.
Do not worry about universe building. This is something totally different. I almost think that up front, that might be the better way to do things.
Well, and I think that's a big thing for the actors too, because we have to look, go back to Doctor Strange casting. Joaquin Phoenix was up for that. Big commitment is, though, when you do a Marvel film or even a DCE film, you got to stick around for 6, 4, 5 films.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing here is a one and done, which is really appealing for Joaquin Phoenix. So I think it'll be a one and done, and then they'll obviously just do other films, but you don't have to ask those actors to come back, which is great for a lot of these actors. They're pretty busy and they want to do a lot of different projects.
Oh, yeah.
And they can hammer these out in a couple months as opposed to being on set for 6 months.
Exactly. Yeah, no mocap suits or anything like that. And Robert De Niro's in this too.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about him.
An absolute...
Well, because Scorsese was attached to it at first, too.
I think he's producing it.
Is he still producing
no, I think he dropped out, but
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper jumped in.
Oh, did he?
So maybe they're segueing him into being Green Lantern.
Maybe. But it does have a touch of that Scorsese feel.
It definitely does. It's got that vibe.
Yeah.
So, but Warner Brothers, not only with this Joker stuff, they've been keeping the news mill running here a lot. We didn't hear from them for weeks, and all of a sudden we get this Joker stuff. They announced not 2 days ago that Birds of Prey. So this is the big team-up film, the female team-up film that will star Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and there'll be Black Cat and a few others.
No,
Black Cat is Spider-Man.
Yeah, Black Canary.
Black Canary. Thank you.
So she gets eaten by Black Cat.
But Birds of Prey will be debuting on February 7th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
You guys excited for this film?
Huntress is in there too, right?
Huntress, Black Canary, Renee Montoya. I think she was in the Dark Knight films where she kind of went against the cops, and she kind of was a double agent, working for Joker for a bit.
Oh yeah.
That character, and she's in the animated series. There's some casting being announced that has their actresses testing for the parts right now. The main villain is gonna be Black Mask.
Yeah, I heard about that.
We talked about this. Yeah,
and
it's interesting. At this point, I'm just gonna let this pass.
Yeah,
and it'll be something we pick up in a year or so, or whatever. Until they go into official production again. Like I said earlier, this Joker thing popped up out of nowhere. I did have no faith this was never going to get off the ground. And here we go. We're already talking about it. So it's one of these things. The DC right now, I'm going to wait and see, because the next big thing that's coming up is Wonder Woman. And we've got a little bit of insight through leaks again about Wonder Woman 84. There's an actor in there, Pedro Pascal. Is that the actor or is that the character name?
That's the actor.
Actor, okay.
He's from Kingsman 2 and
yes. So there are rumors about him. I guess he had joined the cast and about his role in this film. And now, spoiler alert for Wonder Woman. This is rolling around. I got this. Pull this off comicbookmovie.com.
So it's official. It's official.
It's 100% official. But there are some rumors as to who he's going to be playing or portraying in this, and that is a god, specifically maybe Hades. And that Wonder Woman is going to make a deal with him to bring back Steve Trevor to the 80s, pulling him up from World War I after we saw him die. And that's how we're, at least maybe not going to start the film, but that's how we've seen Steve Trevor on set or Chris Pine on set. And we're always wondering, is it his son? Is it whatever, grandson? Is it some weird time travel thing? But it appears to be something related a little bit more to the god, the Athenian gods or the Greek gods, that route. Now, my only question for you guys is, the gods I thought were all dead. Essentially that Zeus, breathed his last breath into creating Diana or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about them bringing back the gods and again using another god in disguise for, maybe not the main villain? It looks like it's gonna be Cheetah, but at least a greater villain, a bigger antagonist.
Well, I like it if they can retcon the whole situation, like what you mentioned with Zeus being the last god and then they all died off, whatever. If they can retcon that, because one of the best thing about Azarella's run was the gods, Apollo, the firstborn, all these crazy awesome gods, right? The one that creates Wonder Woman's weapons.
Not Artemis, Ares? No,
not Ares. I think she got a weapon from Ares.
Hephaestus.
Yeah.
Asbestos?
my Greek gods are a little rusty.
But one of the brilliant and shiny moments throughout the whole run is the gods and the interactions with them. And I think it would be a disservice to Wonder Woman if we didn't get gods in these films. So I do hope this rumor is true. My only other thing, though, I was wondering is I can't remember in Justice League, was it Batman that wanted to bring back Superman, or was it Wonder Woman that wanted to bring back Superman?
I know Batman did, and Wonder Woman was like so against it.
So that makes sense then. If this all goes wrong,
right?
Then that would tie that all together.
Yeah,
So I hope they do go that route, because that'd be pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah, no, that's
sweet.
great. Yeah, that would make so much sense.
Right.
I mean, they kind of fell bass backwards into that one.
Right.
Yeah, I'm totally down with this because Steve Trevor. One of the things is like, why is he coming back? Like his death in the first one was so emotional. Why are we gonna mess with it? But if he comes back because he's brought back by a god, but it's all a trick, and then Diana learns you can't trust the gods, then that makes it even more tragic that his death in the first one. And then it makes even more sense why she goes back into hiding after the events of this movie, and maybe for the third one, it'll be like a modern day one.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the route they need to go, and then throw in a new villain, like I don't know, like Firstborn or something else.
Firstborn, man,
would be amazing.
Powerhouse.
Oh yeah, she needs to throw down. Like I'm excited to see, first off, what Cheetah looks like.
Yeah.
And this film, is kind of like a sleeper. Like a lot of people are talking about, as you said, Avengers 4. Captain Marvel, and Star Wars, Spider-Man. Yeah. So this film here, like the last one made $400 million. No, I wouldn't sleep on this. This could make upwards of $500 million, in my opinion.
Well, I think it has the potential to be a great follow-up to this, both financially and critically. The thing that worries me a little bit about this is just rehashing what they've done in the past. And so if they can stay away from that and maybe use him as more of a background character, not someone that's directly going toe-to-toe with Diana. Because I think, for me at least, Wonder Woman falls to the same perils that a Superman does, is you need someone to go against her that is believable. Cheetah has to be a believable foe for Wonder Woman, because she's already displayed that she can fight Doomsday, she can fight gods, she can fight another god in Justice League. So they have to be able to develop this in a way where either her powers get dampened, or that's a part of what she gives up for Steve Trevor to come back. Just to bring it. It's kind of like Professor X a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You've got to disable something or give her a foe to go against. Because, like, if Cheetah's just a normal woman that has some, like, feline tendencies or gets bit by a cat, you know what I mean?
She's not Catwoman from Michelle Pfeiffer.
Egyptian gods.
I think she's like South American gods in the
So it is
Rebirth.
Gods.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was just poking at Catwoman.
The Halle Berry movie.
Exactly.
But Patience Prue or something. That was her name. Yeah.
So it's just got to be, I think, well executed. I think that, again, this underlying thread of gods in this Wonder Woman contained universe, I think, is something that they should play with. They should push with. They should, really wrap that bigger arc and create something more to this universe, not just having it as like a freak of the movie type of villain. Let's have a bigger arc. How can you do this? You have Hades in here. You have a much longer standing idea of this gods, the new gods, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That you can pull through and connect this whole Wonder Woman universe up together in absence of whatever else they're doing.
Right.
Like, make this an isolated universe that has that focal point around her heritage and how that relates to, future problems and all this. So I think there's a lot they can do here. It's just all about the execution. And I have confidence in Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot that this is going to really hit home.
Yeah, and I think what better way to elevate your film than having a better villain? I mean, if you look back to the last film, as good as the last film was, the villains were lacking. They're very, very weak. I think now's your chance to have someone elevate that film with the villain side, especially the actress from
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen
Wiig,
Yeah.
Bridesmaid. She's great. So I'm really interested to see what she can do in this role, because we've seen comedians in the past, right? Just shine when it comes to the dramatic effect. So
you bring up a good point. Like, think of the first Superman film. They had Luthor, like the Christopher Reeves ones, and they upped the villains with General Zod. Batman, they had Joker. He was pretty cool, but then they upped it with Catwoman, Penguin, and Max Schreck. One thing I'd like them to add to this film, we talk about continuity in the DC connected universe. Let's have Wonder Woman do something at the end, and then have like humanity kind of turn on her. And that's why when Jonathan Kent is bringing up Clark Kent as Superman, he's saying you got to hide your powers because they're going to turn on you. The world's not ready yet. And just have that moment where, something happens where Wonder Woman gets shunned by humanity. And then that's why Jonathan Kent's like, hide your powers for now.
We on the Nerd Room call this the Winter Soldier effect.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Good
right.
call.
Yeah.
Is that a future movie makes other movies better because
Yes.
of how they retcon things.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that. Like we should dub that right now, and then we should get a royalty for any time someone says it.
Yeah.
Just dump it into Urban Dictionary.
The Winter Soldier effect. I like it.
Sounds like a sex move.
5 form. All right, guys, we're going to take a little bit of a break from the news, and we're going to jump into Grab's question of the week. Now, we skipped this last week because we had so much to talk about.
Grabs.
Point at me. I was like, what? Now, he teased us one a few weeks ago that this is going to be a bit more difficult, and I would agree with him here, but I think we're going to have some fun with it. Now, the subject here is fictitious fiction. And it reads, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay, I've been reading the Watchmen comic, and I've been pleasantly surprised to find myself enjoying the fiction within the fiction. In the comic, between chapters, there's an excerpt from a fictitious book written by Hollis Mason, the original Night Owl.
Right. Yep.
This inspired me to look and see if that book was actually written as a supplement to the comic.
I wonder if it was. Did he say?
Of course. There was no such luck.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So my questions for you guys this week are, and I'm going to break these up one by one and we'll just kind of go back to them. What other examples can you come up with of fiction within fiction in comics, movies, TV, or literature itself? Would you buy these add-ons if they were produced? And then kind of breaking off from that a little bit, what are some of the unwritten rules in superhero comics and movies you have come up with? And finally, since I know this is a tricky question to answer, we'll end with an easy one. What are some of the older works in comics you haven't read, but you feel the need to? Thanks in advance. Grabs.
Grabs.
Sir Grabs. Dope.
All right, so this is an interesting one, and we've had a little bit longer time to look at this. And so we're going to start at the top here. What are some examples you can come up with of fiction within fiction? So within comic books, movies, TV, or literature itself. I'm going to kick this one off. This is a little bit of a sideways one, so it's not actually... It is more of a autobiographical piece within a TV show. Now, it's a show that I love called Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They actually just kicked up a new spin-off series called Mayans. Yeah, about the Mexican biker gang.
Cool.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But there's a book in there that the main character, Jax Teller, reads, and it's called The Life and Death of Sam Crow, How the Sons of Anarchy Lost Their Way. And it's narrated throughout the whole first couple seasons by the father who's passed away, and he kind of narrates him, and it's his journal, his diary, but it's his book about the motorcycle club, what he originally meant for it, and it has a huge effect on the main character. And I always thought it would be kind of cool. I never even looked to see if they produced it, but it's a really cool piece of work inside of a TV show that they really leveraged a lot for at least the first 3 seasons or so.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that.
All right, so like mine's not really literature, but it's still like that inception within it, like, you know, like a show inside a show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the greatest animated show of all time, The Simpsons, and everyone's favorite cat and mouse, Itchy and Scratchy.
Oh,
Of course, the
yes,
take on Ben and Jerry or Tom and Jerry,
Tom
not
and
the
Jerry.
ice cream. Yeah, so you know, I think that I always thought those shows, those like little bits were hilarious when they're killing each other, and they always like were like riffs or like spoofs on movies. Like there's the one about Reservoir Dogs, and there's a couple classic Itchy and Scratchy ones. So
Yeah.
I would love if there was like a 15-minute Itchy and Scratchy, or like a whole Itchy and
short.
Scratchy. Yeah,
Because there's a movie in the show. Did the show do a movie? Like,
that's
did they
right.
make
Yeah, there was the Itchy and
Scratchy
Scratchy the movie
Yeah.
that like won the Academy Award. And, like, Bart wasn't allowed to see it.
Yeah.
And then becomes like a supreme judge.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, just off the top of my head, I thought of one, and I'm not even a big Harry Potter person, but in the world of Harry Potter, I know this because my wife loves Harry Potter.
Nerd.
Yeah.
How fitting for this episode or this show.
There's a book that's in that whole universe. Something about, well, Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
There's a whole book in there,
Oh, okay.
and obviously now there's the whole spin-off going back to the original author, which is Newt Solomon, which is that's on your fantasy draft here, right?
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
that's
I'm trying to
right,
promote you a little bit here.
Well, I thought you were talking about like the guy Newt. Sure.
Yeah. So we got the sequel coming up. I think October 19th or so. Or
Yeah, it's
November.
coming up. They just released
November.
like the latest trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna do gangbusters.
Yeah.
I need that to beat Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, Harry Potter's huge. Right?
Yeah.
That's like one of WB's biggest IPs, right? So,
Oh yeah. I think it's gonna make easily 200 mil.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like that one. It's a good pull.
Yeah. That's what I got.
One thing I will add is not really like fiction within fiction, but it's like a game that I always thought, like you always have like sometimes they make up games. Like you just mentioned Harry Potter, and I thought of Quidditch. But I think in Star Wars where they have that like chess game.
Oh,
Where,
Sabak?
like, no. The
I
other
can't remember what it's called. It's on the Falcon.
is on the Falcon. Yeah, where it's like the little
I
like
literally heard it
claymation.
today.
Yeah, what is
People-
that called again?
The guys on Tumbling Saber said it today. I don't remember.
But I think that like something like that would be really cool too. It's like fiction within fiction. It's like a game within like the movie.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I was
Very
like,
cool.
man, that'd be cool to play.
Yeah. How about a match made in space by one George McFly?
Oh,
yeah.
So this is the book you see. I think it's in the end of one where he becomes an author, and the book in itself is featured around, or at least the alien or whatever, around his son who went back in time and
Right.
saw him and created with the yellow.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, he calls him Darth Vader from the planet Falcon and all this. Yeah. So I think that'd be kind of a cool book to read.
Yeah. That'd be actually pretty cool.
And the last one I got here, again, more of an autobiographical piece, is the Calrissian Chronicles.
Nice.
Oh,
So this
Nice.
debuted in Solo. They picked it up in Double or Nothing as well, him continue with this. So I'd love to sit and read Calrissian's book on himself, on his adventures.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Nice.
All right, I got one. The Sokovian Accords. I'd love to
Ooh.
read that like document.
Oh my
Wow.
god, it'd be so boring. So much
So boring.
legalese.
Yeah, but they should release it. That should have been part of. That should have been the Steelbook of
Yeah.
Civil War.
This is required reading for understanding Civil War.
Yeah.
7,000 page document that no one ever read.
Just sign here.
Including Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
All right, that was a lot of fun. I really like that one. Now, one question. Would you buy any of these add-ons that we discussed?
Yeah, I'd buy the Itchy and Scratchy movie. I'd buy some of the books.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy the Sokovia Accords though.
No.
No, passing on.
It should be public knowledge.
Yeah.
Free to download. Yeah, I agree. I'd buy some of these. All right. Here's his next question. What are some of the unwritten rules in superhero comics and movies you can come up with? Unwritten rules.
Oh, I go to my boy Spider-Man.
Yes.
So one of his rules, obviously the biggest one, is Uncle Ben stays dead.
Yeah.
Even Gwen Stacy. But one of the coolest ones that people may not know about is Peter Parker, Spider-Man cannot drink beer or alcohol.
Oh,
Can ever.
really?
Yeah,
Really?
Can never, ever, ever. Even when going back to his team-ups with Deadpool.
Yeah.
And they write all sorts of crazy stuff with Deadpool. Spider-Man is not allowed to drink alcohol. I guess one time the artist or the writer wanted to do a little saga there where he was drinking or something. Like, nope, can't do it. Once we went to Aunt May's wedding, Peter thought he was drunk, but he actually wasn't. He was just drinking like water, and he had a one night stand. It's okay for him to have a one night stand.
Oh,
and he woke up to his
Peter.
girl like, "Oh, I was so like smashed," and she's like, "No, you weren't. You were drinking water the whole time."
You're literally fine.
Yeah, he's been offered beers by Wolverine and Ghost Rider, and both times like, no, like I don't drink.
Like just
So-
as he's a teen, or like even
no,
as he's
no,
an adult.
everything I mentioned is all in his adulthood. He's
Wow.
like 25, under 30, doesn't drink,
Oh, good for him.
can't
Me
do it.
neither.
Yeah.
Didn't you just go to the beer festival?
I did indeed. That was a giant lie. What about you? What are some unwritten rules, Sunjay?
All right, I got two. One, no one is stronger than Superman. Like that's just a DC unwritten rule. He's like,
Except for the Hulk.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Hulk.
oh,
right?
what are you talking about?
Yeah, the Hulk.
The Hulk. All you gotta defeat him is just make him happy.
I say Hulk and Goku. Those are the two right there that
Oh,
can beat
please, Superman with one hand,
Easily.
Hulk, one hand,
Oh,
Goku.
you're killing me.
I think we should go back to DC versus Marvel, where Superman dethroned the Hulk.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That's canon. That's canon.
Eh.
And the second one is no one beats Batman. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're Superman, if you're
Oh man, I had a joke I wanted to say there, but I'm not gonna say it. Too mean.
no one beats Batman.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know what your joke is, but I'm not gonna ask.
No, I'm not gonna say
You're
it.
gonna take the highbrow road this time.
Yes,
I appreciate
am.
it. Even though you own the steelbook right here.
Yes. Has nothing to do with that steelbook. We'll get to it later. Maybe some other day. Detours episode. No, it's still too mean for there anyways. All right, I got one here. Time travel in comics fixes and also destroys everything.
Yep.
End credits of Deadpool too.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I guess more so, time travel is not linear in comic books. So you can go back, screw with the timeline. Doesn't really change everything. So we've seen this time and time again. We've seen Wolverine go back in time and
Age
kill
of
himself.
Ultron.
Yes, Age of
Yeah.
Ultron, kill himself. We've seen so much. We saw it. That's what destroyed the Ultimate Universe.
That's
Kind of
right.
cracked them in two.
Was that with the Cap? Remember that weird one when Cap with Avengers, the Hickman one? He went all the way into the future.
Yes.
And every time the planet kept going weird.
Yeah, that was
a
that whole
Sounds
big
like a
thing.
Futurama episode or something.
Yeah,
It basically was.
It was
And-
weird, and like they were screwing around. I think Age of Ultron was when they were screwing around so much with time travel that it broke the Ultimate Universe,
Yeah.
and like Galactus ripped his way through.
Oh, yeah,
And then-
Catalyst.
Catalyst and all that. Yeah. So time travel, it's a big thing, big plot
Big
point that
no-no.
they use.
Yeah.
They get Kang the Conqueror and all this
Yes,
stuff.
of
So you've
course.
got alternate universes and all that. So not linear. It destroys everything, but also fixes everything.
That's right. Days of
Right.
Future Past.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Terminator.
I got one for movies, more for comic book movies.
Okay.
And this is very appropriate for the time, both for Marvel and DC. You can always be replaced.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
you look at the lineup of actors that
Yeah.
have come and gone from these roles,
Yeah.
some amicably, some not so much.
Yeah.
But you can always be replaced. The story, and I think you said this beautifully a couple of weeks ago, the story is always bigger than the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The character is always separate from the actor. Yeah. Yes, it's going to be abrupt changes to see someone like Henry Cavill be replaced. It was the same way when Edward Norton was replaced.
Terrence Howard.
And
Yeah.
all this.
Drax, probably.
Yeah. Drax almost definitely.
Yeah. He ain't coming back for the third one.
But the story, the universe is bigger than that.
Yeah.
So, again, these people come and go for different reasons, and we're not going to comment on that. But nonetheless, you can always be replaced.
I like that. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, guys, finally here, last question from Grabs. What are some of the older comics? We'll do, say, one run
Okay.
that we would like to read that we have not read yet. So something that we're looking at, maybe for me, Marvel Unlimited, that I'm going to go back to and read, but I have not touched yet.
Okay, I'm gonna take this one. The JLA run from the '90s with Justice League. So the Justice League in the '80s, they kind of got rid of their main 7 heroes of like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, filled them with like B-listers, and there was like a whole bunch of different. There's like a Justice League Detroit, like a Justice League Antarctica. Like it was really weird and like disjointed.
There's no one on it.
Yeah.
West Coast Justice League.
Yeah, it was super random, and like DC was like, "What's going on?" Like Justice League was our best-selling book, and now it's like in the tank. So Grant Morrison, who's like a fantastic writer, got the idea to remake the Justice League. He called it JLA because he didn't want it to be like Justice League of America, and he got the original 7 back, and he reasoned like they're kind of like Greek gods. Like, they're different. They represent different gods. So he brought him back, and he had like these crazy adventures. Each like event, each issue was kind of like an event, kind of like what's his name, Jeff Johns' run.
Okay.
And so he kind of brought back the Justice League, and I've read a bunch of the stories, but I haven't read all of it. And I really like to read that entire run. I've been trying to like pick it up on like loose comics or in trades, but that's one run I'd love to just sit down and just read from beginning to end.
That's funny you stole mine because Sunjay and I were talking about this and you pitched that whole JLA one. Grant
Sucker.
Morrison.
That's why I wanted to go
That's
first.
what I'm going for. But I'll go back to the 90s as well. Chris Claremont's Uncanny X-Men,
Yep.
I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's what
basically
Kyle's collecting now, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And that's basically, what the animated series borrowed off
Absolutely,
of. So
yeah.
I think Jim Lee was also doing some of the art back then too.
Oh, yeah,
Could be
yeah.
wrong.
Jim Lee, yeah.
But I definitely know Chris Claremont was doing that. So I'd love to go back and pick up that classic X-Men team, man.
He actually, Claremont, I think it was like Burns as well. Like, that name sounds familiar. Maybe I'm wrong. But Claremont did a short run on Justice League.
Yeah.
He jumped ship for like just one run.
That's after. No, that's before Morrison, right?
I think it was like after. It was
Okay.
like near the end when they started to like change it to like Justice League again.
Oh, okay.
But like Claremont did a story involving vampires, and it's kind of interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right on.
I have a feeling Tim is gonna say, okay, I'm gonna guess. He's gonna say Captain America run.
Well, I might need to do the Captain America one now too. After
You have to do
Brubaker.
Brubaker. You have to do it.
I might have to do that too.
Maybe I'll flip you my password.
Whoa! Grabs doesn't get paid if you share accounts. You gotta
Actually, I
keep
think
him well
one-
paid.
It's awesome. I think one might have come with the Spider-Man 4.
Spider-Man, which one?
You're the video game.
Oh yeah.
I think you might have a code in there.
Oh, for Unlimited?
really?
I think so. I saw
No
someone
way.
post online that they got a code with the Spider-Man PS4,
Yeah.
and they're looking just to give it to someone.
Well, I better because I got like the big one, and I got
Yeah,
quite a bit of
yeah. I
DLC.
bet you
okay.
look through there some of the
Probably
content
threw
in
it
that.
out. You're like shit.
Yeah, the sleeves.
Yeah, the sleeve, right? It's on the back of the sleeve. No, have a look through it. You might
Cool.
have it on there.
No way. Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah, and if you
Nice.
get an iPad or even on the computer, it's
Yeah.
fine too.
Oh, this game just gets better and better.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. Nice.
All right, mine is not a Captain America run. I've read
Oh.
most of them, but It is the entire Bendis era of Avengers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I've read bits and pieces, like Civil War was in there. Not particularly by Bendis, but that whole era of events, like we got Secret Invasion,
Fear
Dark
Itself.
Reign, Fear Itself,
Siege.
Civil War is in there, House of M.
Disassembled, was that?
Disassemble's the start of it. So
Start
that's
of it,
issue like 500.
The Raft, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Raft, the new Avengers stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the one with like George Perez on the art as well, or is that
No,
before?
Perez I think came just before.
Oh, okay.
So Perez led into 500, and I
Yeah.
think Bendis took over 500. He did the Disassembled arc from 500 to 503, and then that killed Avengers, and then the new Avengers run popped up, and then that led into this whole everything that most people talk about is from that era. Like a lot of the stuff that's being adapted, like came out of that era. And I want to go back and read all that. So Marvel Unlimited, that after I get through the Brubaker run again, I'm going to do Hickman's Fantastic Four.
Oh, so good.
All the Captain Marvel, and then I'm going to go and start this Avengers.
My
Dope.
man.
So from 500, I'm going to read 500 straight through to present day.
Huge.
Yeah,
That's
so
wicked.
It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Awesome. Well, that was another fantastic question by Grabs. I had a ton of fun with that.
Yep.
And again, sorry for having to push that, but I'm glad we did because I thought we got a little bit better banter
For sure.
here, not trying to squish it in with the Captain Marvel trailer and all that.
Sir Grabs.
All right, we're going to jump into a bit of Marvel and then eventually some Star Wars news here. But what we're going to do first is talk about the MCU.
Nice.
Now, we talked about Captain Marvel for the last 2 weeks. It's the next big film coming. You know, we're going to mention here a bit about the Russo brothers and their tease for Avengers 4. But first thing I want to address here is the rumors that Disney is going to produce MCU series for their streaming service that are focused on characters who have yet to get a standalone. And two names that were tossed out there were Loki and Scarlet Witch. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it will be produced by Feige, so he will have his hands at least creatively on these. But the actors are also coming back. So Tom Hiddleston and Olsen. What's her name? Elizabeth Olsen. I was going to say one of the other ones.
Mary Kate. Yeah.
Or both of them.
Maybe they just switch in and we never noticed.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
Mary
I don't
Kate
think
for
so.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah. Parent Trap? No, other one. But they will be reprising those roles. Now, what do you guys think about this? You know, Disney's making a big push on the streaming service to compete with Netflix. And now utilizing and leveraging properties like Star Wars and Marvel seems like the right path. I was a bit shocked by this, but I'm really excited. This seems to be almost taking the form of what those old one-shots were.
Yes.
Where maybe a bit more extended, a bit more of a budget behind them and telling maybe a bigger story. But I'm pretty excited. You know, we're probably never going to get a Scarlet Witch standalone.
Right.
You know, Loki's had his time, so I'm not as jazzed about that. But they could still tell a really cool story with Hiddleston in that role. I love him in that role. Don't get me wrong. But what are you guys thinking about this?
Yeah, this is super cool. The only thing is now, like, how's it going to fit in my Steelbook collection? Are we going to release them in Steelbooks? It's because of the streaming service. You know, Netflix has started to release some Steelbooks, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or like Luke Cage. There's some Steelbooks in the UK you can pick up. So that's only my main concern. I guess, like, trying to digest all this content. You know, we talk about Star Wars. There's so many different silos coming out with Star Wars. It's impossible to get it all. And, you know, it might be, like, impossible with all these streaming services. You just can't get it all. So, you know, you got, like, your DC streaming service, your Disney one with Star Wars and Marvel. So, you know, something's going to have to get cut. I have a feeling I know which one would cut from Tim's watch list.
Cable.
Seriously. Yeah.
No, I'm almost at a point where my wife and I are seriously talking about this. You know, it's not that I don't want to watch DC or whatever, but having 4 streaming services at $10 a month is cheaper than my cable right now.
Yeah. Like, the only thing I keep it for is sports. That's it.
Realistically. And you go to a bar and do that.
But then I got to pay money to drink a beer.
You do that anyways. Troy, what do you think about this MCU streaming service stuff?
I'm a little skeptical of this one, just because I don't want it to be treated like I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't want to be treated like the Iron Fist or the Inhumans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know Kevin Feige's behind it, which is great, but I guess Joss Whedon kind of was behind S.H.I.E.L.D. too. And I heard Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't actually bad, right? I mean, you're a big fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's cool that we're going to get the original actors which is great. It'll be interesting to see what stories they tell. I'm guessing both of these will be like flashbacks, like maybe Scarlet Witch will be with her and her brother Quicksilver.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
And then Loki, obviously, I'm guessing it's a flashback. I hope they don't bring him back to life.
No.
Another thing that kind of concerns me is it's a lot to keep up with now, because I feel like you're going to have to pay a lot more attention to these than you would with like Daredevil.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're gonna watch these movies too. So it's cool, but it makes so much sense. You know, you got to hit this crowd pretty hard, this audience pretty hard when it comes to this streaming device, because we got the Favreau series coming out, which is great. Obviously, we got the Clone Wars. We got a bunch of stuff coming out that's gonna bring the audience towards
Huge amount of people.
Yeah.
streaming device. So it makes sense why you launch this. Like, this is huge news. I'm excited to see what other characters they're gonna pull.
Yeah, it looks like there's gonna be 6 to 8 episodes of it.
Okay.
And that's not bad. Like, if
Like
they're
not
doing,
per
like,
character, but I think it's like one shot.
Okay,
type
so
thing.
that's better then.
I think
That's better.
I skipped
Okay.
it.
Well, I like that.
I think that makes more
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Have like a half an hour to 40-minute one shot.
That would be cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Mandarin.
Yeah, there you go.
The real
Trevor,
Mandarin.
yeah. Well, these are
Trevor.
type of stories they could tell, right? Because they did retcon that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing maybe to kind of quell some of your concerns there is
Yeah.
that this is being produced by Marvel Studios, not Marvel TV.
So it's not Loeb.
No,
Jeff Loeb.
no, it's not Jeff Loeb. It's Feige. So they're two separate entities.
Right.
So Feige, remember when there's a couple years ago they spun out studios, and studios reports directly, I think, somewhere in Disney.
Yeah.
And Marvel TV reports through a different, I think through what's his name, Ike Perlmutter.
Yeah.
Is the guy's name.
Who basically came out talking about James Gunn. He's the one that announced James Gunn's firing.
Yeah, I
right?
think so.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember.
It wasn't Iger. It was
But Perlmutter, yeah.
Yeah.
So Shield and the Netflix stuff, Inhumans, is all done on TV. This is going to be TV, but done under Marvel Studios.
Okay.
So I think, given maybe potentially a large budget, you look at what's thrown at Favreau. You got to throw something big at this as well to get the quality there to match that of the standard of an MCU film.
Right.
And also you've got Feige there, which gives me a lot more confidence.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think this has the potential to be really fun. And again, do some of that exploration, because one thing that hasn't been overly leveraged in the MCU is extended universe content. Like, you look at the films, we get a lot of films. We get 3 films a year. No real tie-in comic books. No real acknowledgement that those shows actually exist. That was the first attempt, but they've never referenced them. So as far as I'm concerned, at this point, they're somewhere else.
Right.
They're not part of that continuity.
Feels
anymore.
that way.
Yeah, so this is kind of a cool way to expand that universe while not going too far away from the source material and the idea of Marvel Studios in itself.
Right.
So I'm kind of really encouraged by this. And of course, I'm on board with the
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
streaming service.
Oh,
And this
yeah.
is going to be, between switching back and forth between Favreau, the Clone Wars, and
Yeah.
MCU shows, they're going to have a busy couple of weeks.
Crazy.
Yeah. Any word if this is coming on Canada? Because I know the DC one, the streaming service isn't, so it's all coming out on Netflix for us. But what about the Disney one?
My guess with Disney is if they're going to make this successful, they have to launch it globally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't just launch it in the States and then, kind of have this peter out across Europe or whatever. It has to hit hard in places like, Europe, Canada, the US. It's got to go into big, maybe India or China.
China for sure.
Yeah.
These places that Netflix is, I don't know if Netflix is actually in China, but places where Netflix is dominating, they have to go into that same market and directly compete. You can't have people complaining they can't get the Favreau series, and you don't want to start off like that. Like, okay, we already have that. The UK gets Rebels or got Rebels, and everything like weeks or months.
Yeah, that's nuts as it was.
Yeah. And so they can't have that. Like, the streaming service has got to launch. It's Disney's biggest focus in 2019, and it has to be global.
Yeah.
Well, I think like there's some issues too in Canada. I know there is like Canadian content rules.
Yeah, and there's licensing
There's
issues
licensing
too. They
issues,
license
so
things
like
differently.
maybe there's something that's beyond their control that there's like we wanted to but we can't, and maybe they will leverage Netflix. I don't know why Netflix would agree to that, but
Well, essentially, I think Disney, to back out of some of the Netflix stuff, like, they've got to ante up a ton of money.
Yeah.
And they're also losing by taking things off of Netflix. They're losing a lot of money
yeah,
because they're essentially losing the licensing rights that they've sold to, or the showing rights or whatever that they sold to Netflix, which they've probably paid a pretty penny for. They're sucking all that back out, so they're going to lose all that revenue, and it's got to go dump directly in and be made back in the streaming service. I think it has a huge potential to be successful, but like I said, it's got to be a global launch.
oh yeah.
Now, the Russo brothers, we spoke a couple weeks ago about Avengers 4 fan theories, and the Russo brothers, these guys are true class acts. I love what they've done. You know, the way that they've treated fandom, the way that fandom has in turn respected them back. This isn't a hit at anything else other than the Russos seem to have a really great relationship with the fan base. And they seemingly are trolling us here a little bit, potentially. They put out something on their Instagram with, I believe it is Joe Russo sitting in a chair. And the tag on it just said, "Look hard," I believe. And there's a few things set up. There's some obvious things. There's an easel that looks like an A. There's a ladder that looks like an A. There's a box that's appropriately clipped to look like an E. And a lot of people on the internet have been speculating that this is a hint towards what the title of Avengers 4 is going to be. We have yet to get that. There's been a lot of speculation since the moment the snap happened as to what this film was going to be called. Originally dubbed Infinity War Part 2, then it's been changed to something different that apparently has, at least gives some insight towards what the film is going to be about. Now, you guys have looked at this photo. What are you thinking here? Are they trolling us? Is there anything in here? Are we reading way too much into this?
I think it's gonna be called Avengers Step Up, and it's just they're gonna have a dance off with Thanos, and that's how they beat him.
Yeah, there you go. Been done once.
Avengers Step Up 4D.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an awesome photo. It's cool. I love what they're doing and how they play with the audience, and that's cool. I've heard rumors that it's like Avengers Eternity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or I guess it could still be Endgame. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know what to take of it though. I'm not really good at doing my whole Batman detective skills here. I can't really break down the photo, but it's a hell of a shot, and I can't wait to see what the hell it is. Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
I want the title. Do you have any idea?
You know, I watched some YouTube videos this week on it, and some people go into like some serious detail here, playing with the contrast and all that.
Yeah.
You know, for me, the first thing I saw is clearly the A.
Yeah.
That's there. We know this is Avengers. You know, some people are thinking Avengers Assemble with the easel and the other A, but that was also what the name of the film was. The first one in the UK.
Right.
So it wasn't confused with the original release of the Sean Connery and Uma Thurman Avengers, which was a toss back to a 60s TV show. I see the A and the E is here as well. And I've always been pushing for Avengers Forever.
Yeah.
That seemed like the most appropriate title. Like Infinity is kind of forever. Avengers Forever makes sense. Avengers Eternity, I think it applies too much for the character Eternity.
Right.
And so I don't particularly love that. Like, sure, if it's called that, doesn't really matter what it's called.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But I always had a liking for that Avengers Forever because the comic book, there's a 12-issue comic book run that deals with timelines and all this kind of stuff. Seemed to make sense as an inspiration piece at least. But realistically, I think they're just keeping that name at the top of mind for everyone. It's, you know, everyone's talking about Joker and all this, Captain Marvel. Hey guys, remember, Avengers 4 also comes out. Not that we've really forgotten that, but it's a great way. Like, people have spent endless hours analyzing this, and it could be something as simple as Avengers Assemble is going to be uttered in this film.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
And so, or it could be something's coming. I don't know. Maybe he's watching the trailer on his laptop. Who knows? Who knows? But I think it's a lot of fun what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And they keep fandom guessing, keep fandom speculating. And the nice thing about this, it's very positive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not people going down to the dumps, to the gutter that we've seen in the past with them saying, oh, you know, F you keep teasing us, but just give us the effing trailer or whatever. It doesn't seem to be none of that, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah.
It seems to be fun speculation about what this is going to be. So
Love
that's kind of why I like what they're doing here. Now, last thing we're going to talk about today is the big statement from I believe it was a Hollywood Reporter interview with Bob Iger, CEO of Disney. So this man controls half the planet, it seems, or at least the majority of the entertainment industry. This is a massive company, Disney, but there's been a lot of focus in recent times, at least, on Star Wars and Marvel. Now, realistically, you look at the amount of money they make, I don't know how much Star Wars and Marvel at this point, you know, they're contributing a lot to the bottom line, but they also cost a lot. You look at this guy manages the part, or at least is the overseer, he has his VPs and all that of the parks, of the toys, of everything that they're doing, the streaming service, TV, ABC, ESPN, like this is a huge company.
Massive.
Oh yeah.
But people are always asking them, at least in the circle that we're in, about Marvel and DC, or Marvel and DC. There you go. Maybe someday.
That'd be amazing.
Marvel.
Well, it wouldn't be
That's the
amazing
next
if they
move.
bought it, but it'd be amazing if they asked him. They're like, so what about
What do you think of
Batman?
DC?
Yeah.
So he took some time out to answer what seemed to be, I wouldn't say planted questions, but pre-approved questions about a few things. Now, the first thing we'll talk about here is Marvel. Now, he was asked a little bit about the streaming service and incoming characters we're getting from the Fox universe. That deal is, I wouldn't say done, but maybe all but done, all but signed. And he was asked if Feige is going to oversee everything that Disney absorbs from the Marvel universe that was the Fox universe, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and a few other properties there like Silver Surfer and all that. And his answer to that was, it only makes sense that Feige himself will be overseeing all this. Now, he was very careful to not explicitly say anything about the X-Men themselves or how they'll be integrated, but essentially it looks like they're going to be doing piecemeal, and Feige, of course. I don't think there's any conjecture or any speculation that he wasn't going to be running, or they're going to run two separate universes. It was always assumed that this going in, but it's nice to have that confirmation, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when this finally does get folded in to this universe, how they do it, how they execute it. But again, Bob Iger saying things like, he's not suggesting that Deadpool's going to become an Avenger, but who knows?
Yeah.
This was a statement
Wise
directly
words,
from
though.
Iger. Yeah. Exactly. So I like that he acknowledged Deadpool,
Yeah.
because that's an important property that doesn't necessarily fit into the round peg that is Disney coming from the Fox universe, but I hope they spin that brand out and do something a little different on the R-rated side too.
Or they can just leave it kind of the way it is, and
Yeah.
if someone pops in, they pop in, but you don't have to take it.
Well, and because
Too
of
seriously.
the style of Deadpool,
Yeah.
like he can just say, well, am I an Avenger now? Like, I guess I'm in this universe now. They can do that. They can be very apparent and fourth wall breaking with
Yes.
that.
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole merger can be like, and he was even half-assed teased in some of the trailers, right?
Yeah.
You get him running around as Woody, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. The worst thing Disney could do for this is if when they do get it, they put out a PG-13 Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because that's going
They
to turn
can't.
fans. They can't do it. It has to be R-rated, or else everyone's going to the backlash will be huge. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not R. This sucks. I'm not going to see it. Disney
Yeah.
ruins everything.
But if you flipped it the other way and you had a team up film, I guess it's too early to say Spider-Man because he's too much of a kid. But if you put Spider-Man and Deadpool as a film,
Yeah.
and you slapped the PG title, I think everyone's fine with that because it
Yeah.
just makes sense because you have that Spider-Man character. But if you were to go like standalone Deadpool film, you got to keep it rated R, like where
Yeah.
it has been.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
with the Spider-Man Deadpool, you could have that called out in the film. Deadpool can say, look, it's PG-13, I can't swear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go, you know what I
they
mean?
can, they can beep it.
They
and
can beep it.
you
yeah,
love it. You
yeah,
love it.
and him
they
like trying
can-
to swear it every time it just beeps out.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what the?
Yeah, and like that would be actually a lot of fun. That
Yeah.
banter
Yeah.
and seeing him pointing out and be like, all I want to do is say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Could be kind of cool. There's
Yeah.
a lot they could do there that could
Yeah,
play
sure.
or walk that line
Yeah.
of still being Deadpool, but maybe a little bit more Disneyfied.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally.
So the big comics actually coming out of this, or comments coming out of this Hollywood Reporter, were in reference to Star Wars, though. Marvel was a little tag on its scene, but people are very interested in the execution of Star Wars, what's coming next. We've seen or heard that the brakes are being pumped here on the standalone films. And now Iger had some very interesting things to say about the universe itself. He was asked about basically Solo in a roundabout way. And he came out and said this: I made the time and decision, and as I look back, I think the mistake that I made, I take the blame, was a little too much, too fast. You can expect some slowdown, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make films. J.J. Abrams is busy making Episode 9. We have creative entities including Game of Thrones directors David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, who are developing sagas of their own, which we haven't been specific about. And we are just at the point where we're starting to think about or make decisions about what comes next after JJ's. But I think we're going to be a little more careful about the volume and timing, and the buck stops here on that. Now that's a pretty loaded statement. He's, I think, adequately vague, but he also gives us some insight as to what's going on in the behind the scenes of Star Wars. Because ultimately, the nice thing he does in here is he takes the blame for it, right?
Yeah.
You know, Kathleen Kennedy's taking the brunt of everything. But at the end of the day, Kathleen Kennedy still reports to Bob Iger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's coming out and saying that the key thing with Solo in itself is box office performance seems to be the thing he's alluding to here most, is that it was a timing decision. Yeah. He, for whatever reason, decided that had to come out in 2018. Possibly because there's no Star Wars movie in 2018 unless you have it come out, at least your the entirety of the box office cum in 2018, unless you have it come out sometime in this space.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was just a business decision or what. Clearly it was. But he is seemingly taking the blame for that and saying, you know, in a roundabout way, we shouldn't have put it close to Infinity War. We shouldn't have put it in May.
Yeah.
We should have put it maybe in December.
Yeah.
So he was the one that made that decision. You know, it wasn't Ron Howard, wasn't Kathleen Kennedy, wasn't anyone to do with the crew or the cast or whatever. And then the other interesting thing here, he says, is about them slowing it down.
Yes.
The volume in itself and what they've done for the last 3 years. Now, this is kind of one of the points I want to talk about here. What are your guys' thoughts, first of all, on him taking the blame? And second of all, the statement about Star Wars slowing down a little. Given the volume of things, we talked about like 5 episodes ago, how much is coming out. So slowing down is a very general statement, but it might not mean a whole lot given what's been announced.
Yeah. I love it. I think these are great. I think it's interesting what he didn't say in the interview, which is the big thing, but I'm sure we'll get there. But right now, I love the fact that he wants to slow it down because basically Solo coming out so close to Last Jedi, it's like 2 Star Wars films in a year, basically. And I think that's territory we should never go. If you go back to 2015 or 2016 after Rogue One, I'm probably right there being like, I want 2 Star Wars films a year.
Yeah.
But after seeing what happened, that's like, no, like Star Wars is not to be treated like Marvel. I feel like Star Wars is like an event film, and we should get it every 2 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even if you did move this movie to December and helped out Sunjay, you know, I still feel like this movie, and I like this movie, I still feel like this movie wouldn't have performed overly well. It would perform better, for sure. But I still feel like there's still other things in its way, from like problems on the set, the back. Well,
I feel like we would have forgot all
reacted.
that, though. Like if it came out in December, I think we would have forgot all about that. We would have been like super hype mode for it right now.
For sure. But I still feel like it would have hit it a little bit. I mean, even stuff going on with Last Jedi, I feel like people were still been a little less excited about this film than any other big, you know, Star Wars film, like an episodic film. But I do love the fact that they're slowing things down. I feel like Disney is really now trying to figure out exactly what they're trying to do with their studios and their film productions. Obviously, they're great with the comics, they're great with the toys. Everything else is all good. It's just the movies now they need to really buckle on and focus with. So I really like these comments.
Yeah, like, it's kind of interesting because Solo was just like an interesting film. Like, why would they put it out after the character of Han Solo dies in the Force Awakens?
Right.
You know, it would be like in the DC universe if they started off with BVS and then the next film was Man of Steel showing Superman's origins. You'd be like, you're not bringing the universe forward.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what they need to do. Like, if it wasn't a Solo film, but another character, I can't think of one right now.
Luke Skywalker is the one that bid it, so why
Darth
not get Luke
Vader.
Skywalker?
Yeah, right? Or like something like, but something like not even Skywalker because he passed away too. Like someone that like brings the narrative forward. You know what I mean? Like not even Vader.
Like connects to the movie.
But I think so. I think what you're talking about here is like Rogue One for me is a great example. Like I freaking love that movie.
Yeah.
But it just dealt with the periphery of what had happened before. Yes, it's the Death Star. Yes, you get Vader in there, and you get, you know, there's a lot of big nods.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's not, I guess, a forward push on the narrative, but at the same time, it's not plucking out characters and going back way in the timeline. I just felt like that was isolated enough and told its own story.
Yeah.
Where Solo, like, I love the film.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I kind of agree with you that they went for a Marvel style of release or a Marvel style of cinematic universe, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
And we've come into the past. You can't do that with Star Wars.
No.
Like, not in the same fashion. You don't have enough characters. You don't have the diversity in storytelling or the ability to do different genres within that, to have an overarching narrative. You could have done that with the Death Star.
Yeah.
Like, if you had started from the prequels and worked your way all the way up, and then if those didn't exist, that could have been your overall... The Death Star could have been the big thing in the background, the Thanos,
the
right?
Infinity Stone.
Yeah,
exactly. But that was all done. Like, that had been done 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you can't have that same connective tissue when you're jumping around the timeline. Like people are looking for a forward progressing narrative. Yes, we are seeing the ability now to step back with Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
to retcon things, to do things a little bit differently. But again, you look at Captain Marvel, Fury's in there, Coulson's in there. You know, you have elements that we're very familiar with, and they've been outright in saying, look, these guys are really young. We're set in the 90s. Here's Blockbuster. So
Yeah.
And those
they
characters.
connect,
Sorry.
Well, they connect things, right? And when you go to Infinity War, what's the thing we see at the end of Infinity War? We see Captain Marvel being pushed right there for us.
Right.
We get the beeper, right? When you watch The Last Jedi, there's nothing. I think they mentioned Solo once in that whole film.
It's like the dice.
Yeah, so it's like, and then you got the whole Han Solo like origin story. Like it didn't connect. Like I said before, it would have made more sense for Solo to come out after he died in Force Awakens and be like, now we're going back to explain where he came from, and to throw it after a film that didn't even talk about him or promote the character
I see what you're
whatsoever,
saying,
right?
yeah.
Whereas Infinity War, we got the whole here's the pager. Watch our next film because that pager connects to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but
well, and there was a blueprint that was put there.
Yeah.
By a studio that's owned by the same company. So it seemed like that weird replication, but they didn't learn from mistakes that they had made in the MCU, right?
Right.
And it was, I agree with you guys that, and you know, Iger outright saying it here, is the timing, it was the volume. Maybe it was the character choice. I don't know. But there's some acknowledgement here that there is a need to slow down, and there was an issue with how Solo, at least as far as the timing of it all, worked out. And I think it was very well executed. I'm looking forward to watching this thing in the next few days. I cannot wait. I love this film. I think all the Disney era films have been good.
I agree.
Some better than others.
Yeah.
But this idea of slowing things down, you know, you look at the volume of things that have been announced. Everything from Resistance to Clone Wars to the films to maybe Rian Johnson's trilogy. Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know. So what does slowing down look like? Is that just putting a halt on these standalone films? I don't know, because we've got a ton of content that's already announced. But you alluded to this, Troy. Do we read between the lines here a little bit? You know, he was very specific in stating outright Benioff and Weiss, the Game of Thrones guys. Mm-hmm. He didn't mention Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
Why didn't he mention Rian Johnson? Was that on purpose? Can we read more into that?
I'm going to read more into it, for sure. I mean, I could be reading into it completely, and it could be nothing. He's being vague, because there's so many other properties, right? He didn't mention Favreau either, right?
Yeah.
So there's that too, but I just feel like, when we're going into Last Jedi mode, it was Rian Johnson, and that makes sense. And they're so confident that they even announced we're doing a trilogy of Rian Johnson, and he's directing the first one. And then since this movie came out, it's been trickling. Like, we haven't really been hearing much about it. And then we have the chief, the CEO himself, Bob Iger, and he doesn't even mention it.
Yeah.
Like, over the Game of Thrones has been nowhere for the last year and a half now. It's been on a standstill, right? Because we're waiting for the last season to come out. But they mentioned those guys' names over Rian Johnson, who just delivered a very successful film.
$1 billion film.
Exactly, right? So I did feel like that's kind of weird. And like I just mentioned to you before, he's very wise with his words, this guy. He knows how to communicate in front of an audience.
All of this is very calculated.
Exactly.
He knows exactly what he's saying.
Exactly. So the fact that he left this film out, I don't know. I'm over here celebrating, but who knows? Who knows, right? This film could still come out, and it could knock my socks off, and I could be the biggest Rian Johnson fan in 2020.
Did you like Looper?
Love Looper. I was one of the guys rooting for this this director. I loved what he did with Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis. Awesome film. Go out there and see this film. It's awesome. Yeah.
Now, Sunjay, do you think Star Wars needs to slow down?
Nah. I think it's not. It needs to not slow down in the way that it needs to not be like the MCU and copy that kind of thing. And as Troy said, I guess if a slowdown means making it more of an event film again, so you get one every 2 years, you just don't want to oversaturate it. Star Wars, I go back to The Force Awakens. I have never had that sort of experience in a movie theater before. And maybe that was lightning in a bottle, but going in there, the anticipation of the film, and people have been waiting 20 years for a new Star Wars film, something like that. And
10.
to have 10,
Yeah.
was it 10? And to have it to actually deliver and be good.
Yeah.
That experience in Force Awakens was one of my favorite, maybe the best of my lifelong obsession with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Is that I didn't quite get the same thing for the Phantom Menace. I wasn't maybe old enough. I guess I was, but it still wasn't top of mind.
Right.
The Force Awakens and the build into that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
even
that
I was
was-
feeling the buzz.
It was so good, and the amount of people, the excitement, that's really died off in the
yeah.
last couple of years. For just the people around me that have lost that passion or that excitement, that event style of viewing. When remember the First Awakens, we had like 25 people came with
Yeah.
us.
It's crazy.
Solo, there was like 8.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And all the Ray buns. Everybody was obsessed with Ray's hair and like the look.
Oh
and
yeah.
the commercials, the battery commercials, just like that whole presence of Star Wars being back was huge. And I remember seeing was it the Chinese theater in LA?
Yeah, Chinese Man Theater.
It is massive. It was bigger than the Oscars.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever get something like that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that the interesting acknowledgement here is this idea of slowing Star Wars down is that Marvel, we don't want to ever be away.
Yeah.
We want constantly, we want the trailer, we want the next film, we want to see how it's connected.
Yeah.
Star Wars, different approach, different universe. We want that maybe just to slow down a little bit and trickle out the content, event style of viewing. Yeah, the TV shows and all that can happen in the background. That doesn't have to be something that's consumable by the same amount of people, like that huge audience you're getting for The Force Awakens. But make the movie films event style. Make them your Infinity War, your Avengers films of that universe, and you have all the other content. It doesn't have to be in the film universe, but it can be in the same essence that you're getting the MCU, all this additional supplemental material that builds into a big event. But just have it kicking around somewhere else.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a film every year. To be honest with you, I want to recapture that Force Awakens feeling.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that. Like, I've been excited. I think Force Awakens and Rogue One were the 2 top ones for me, like as far as the excitement. Last Jedi, yes, I had a lot of fun in there, but I felt that wear on fandom, and then Solo almost felt like, oh my god, here's another one.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm never gonna complain about that.
Yeah.
But there's something special about that Force Awakens viewing, about the Phantom Menace viewing, even the 3 years we're getting between the prequels, right?
Oh yeah.
There was something
That's
special
great.
about that. It was the build, like it's, I don't know. We're just so lucky right now as a fandom, both from Marvel, Star Wars, and DC, that we have so much content. And here we are talking about slowing some of it down because I think it needs to be consumed in a different way.
Yeah. It's like a good album. Like for me, I always go back to music. Like me, I loved like you got Michael Jackson Off the Wall in '79, and then you got Thriller in '82, and then in '87 you got Bad. Like there's that growth and that anticipation. But when you start getting music like today, where you'll get an album every year or every 6 months, it doesn't hit you quite the same. So I think it's kind of similar when it comes to these films. You got to slow it down, take your time, give us growth, give us that anticipation level.
Yeah.
And give us just that movie every 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
don't want
well
it to
said.
fall into the white noise
Yeah.
Exactly.
of filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
And Solo kind of did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And Star Wars should take a cue from their neighbor Star Trek. They were, for many years, they had the TV show in the background and then the movies that got everyone hyped that was a fan of Star Trek. And they came out not every year, but like sporadically. And they need to do something like that.
So to be
Yeah.
better than those.
Some of them are really good.
Some are good.
Yeah.
Some are really bad.
The even ones are good and the odd ones are bad?
Wrath of Khan is one of them, right?
Wrath of Khan number 2 is good, and then like 4 is good, 6 it's all the evens.
There you go.
Yeah. And like J.J. Abrams reboot, that's
I
good.
love that one.
Yeah.
That was really good. That was really
Oh.
well done. Yeah. Abrams has a particular style about him for reboots.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch that now. It's been a while.
Yeah, you get home and watch Solo though. First things
I'll watch them back to back and then just create a
Do a war.
war, a nerd war.
in your own brain.
The Millennium Falcon and the
Enterprise.
Thank you.
On that note, everyone's getting a bit tired here. It's time to wrap things up. It has been a very exciting episode. We'd like to thank Grabs for tossing that question our way. We'd like to
Yes.
thank our dude Rob Wade for promoting us on Emotionally 14. Make sure to go check everything he does on emotionally14.com. And gentlemen, thanks for coming by the Nerd Room. It's been a blast talking about all this. I can't wait to see what's next in this universe. Crazy, crazy times.
Well, if I come back next week and you guys have another baby announcement, I'm leaving.
It's been a very eventful night. Sunjay looks exhausted.
Oh my goodness. I've been put through the ringer here. Like, what's
Yes, he
going
has.
on?
There was so much DC plus the baby announcements, everything. It's been a wild, wild night. But we're going to have to sign off until next week. So if you'd like to be part of this show, you can always email us at thenerdroom@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Facebook or YouTube. And you can always catch us on Twitter. Our handles are at the end of the episode. You can find everything we do on the nerdroom.net and StarWarsCommonwealth.com. So make sure you're always going to check there for all the latest from all the podcasts, all 10 of us now, on StarWarsCommonwealth.com. And given that blurb, gentlemen, for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And Sanjay.
Daddy number 3. Number 1, maybe. And thank you for entering the Nerd Room. This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, and Sunjabby. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. Be sure to head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com to find more podcasts in the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network, including Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron Podcast, Skyrips Podcast, and San Diego Sabers. Follow the Star Wars Commonwealth on Twitter at SW Commonwealth and take your first steps into a larger world.